to gym class, May 12th, Wednesday, May 12th, 2010. And here today we're going to talk to you about how to answer your prospect's number one question. This is something that has come up a number of times with me in the last little while, especially on the occasions that I've had to deal with national television here in Canada, and most recently with Patricia Levitt-Reid on Money Talk on the Business News Network on BNN. And the question continually comes up, the idea of how do I find a financial advisor I can trust? And I want to talk about that because I think it's a big issue. And in a while we can do the BMW thing on this, and that's not a car reference. It's the issue about bitching, moaning, and whining. We can complain about this, but it doesn't help. And I'm here to help, not to just give you. And not just to give you trouble or talk to you about problems. Ranting is one thing. Raving about solutions, I think, probably more important. Look, financial advisors are easy pickings, and that's the truth. It seems that every week we are regaled with yet another story of either a financial advisor gone rogue or some clown playing financial advisor ripping people off. This just never ends. And so that's why it's easy pickings. Plus, you're playing with people's money. And the bottom line is, of course, no one has very much of it, and so everybody is quite concerned with, losing it, and especially to be ripped off. You'll notice, you will have noted, I'm sure, from one of my last blogs, this idea about fiduciary responsibility. Fiduciary responsibility is a big part of what we do, and I said that at the end of the blog, and it's absolutely true. I can't even believe we have this discussion, to be frank with you, because truly, I think when you start playing with people's money, you really have to treat their money like you would the money that belongs to your favorite grandmother. I really believe that. And it's just, to me, a bunch of it's just wrong-headed to think that there should be some other standard. Now, I don't know what the legal ramifications are completely of all of this, but I do think that is the way in which you need to operate if you want to be successful long-term in this business. So when we get all these stories, like I say, in the media all day long, it makes everyone look bad, and it leaves consumers with that same question, the one that I'm asked on BNN several times already, 3 times I can think of in the last little while, this issue around how do I find a financial advisor I can trust. Now look, every time some yet another dastardly deed comes to is unearthed, and the evildoer is exposed or at least recognized out there on the street, this horrific publicity has a huge impact on your business. Now don't be thinking that any publicity is good publicity. That dog don't hunt. It's not true. In this case, this kind of talk shakes the very foundation of the business that you have spent your life building, and the one that I've been involved with for more than some 32 years. And if you don't think so, think again. I know recently I had the good fortune of listening to Advocates Chair Terry Zavitz as she spoke in Sudbury last week. And she talked about how a significant part of the job that Advocates has, this is the NAFA for those of you in the United States, this is the Canadian, the Financial Advisors Association of Canada, but a significant part of her job is convincing regulators of the value of advisor advice. Now, a little side note here, Terry did an extraordinary job in her talk. She was excellent in her talk about business and her business and what she does. And I can tell you that Canadian advisors can be duly proud of the work that she does and having her work on your behalf in this country. I ran out of paper just making notes on her, which is annoying. And I hate to say that because she might be watching. But it's not the problem. What I'm getting at is this. Can you imagine that regulators still have to be convinced of the value of advisor advice? Yep, they still wonder about this. And with the quality of advice in question every day, maybe it would just be a little easier, I'm guessing they think, if we just didn't bother with it at all. There's this new federal financial literacy project going on in Canada, and my friend Evelyn Jacks is on that that blue ribbon panel, and but maybe they suppose they can make taxpayers their own advisors. Maybe they suppose that everybody could just know enough that you wouldn't need any advice from anyone else. Can you imagine? The results would be predictably horrible. Kind of like the same thing when I was a young agent years ago. We'd say, well, when we're talking on the phone with a client, we'd say something like, I'll tell you what, I'd like to show you an idea that we think can help improve your life. And they'd say, well, just send me the idea in the mail, and I'll look at it. And I'm thinking the same response that I had then. You know, it'd be the same as me sending you a pair of scissors and a comb and teaching you how to cut your hair over the telephone. It's not necessarily the best way of doing that. Sometimes you need professional advice. You probably saw the commercial not long ago, I think, for a financial company that talks about, you know, like doing a gastrointestinal surgery over the telephone. Look, it doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. But we can give it, like I say, the BMW treatment. We can bitch, moan, and whine about it. Or we can get to work and fix the problem that causes the grief. And I got to tell you, the issue here is that black hole of commoditization. I do a whole talk on commoditization, but it lurks all the time, and you have to be vigilant. We have to be vigilant. Actually, we can do more than that. You can arrange your business so that you answer this legitimate question: how do I find a financial advisor I can trust? And prove your worth every time you meet a new client, every time you work with an existing client. And I think there's a number of things. I have a list here, as you might imagine, of some 14 of them that I think will all go to help you demonstrate trust and build long-lasting relationships. Now, two things I want to say before I get to this list. Number one is this program, of course, is audio recorded, and we will have this online, and my great assistant Catherine will have this ready for you in the next within an hour after this call. So it'll be available to playback if you choose to, and if you're listening to this afterwards. Number one, and number two, my notes from this meeting, from this gym class, will also be posted on the website so that you can review them and to see what's going on. So we can do that for you, and you'll be able to have that information right after this call. So what can you do then? Look, number one,